You are at Nelson's, and you are very welcome here, as is my friend, neighbor, and all-around fabulous human being, Anita Gillette.
Thank you.
It's actually, even though we're neighbors and friends for years,
years,
it's your first time at my place.
It is. It's cute.
It's
Nelson.
cute. You
Very
know,
cute.
Square footage in New York City.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You do have a bedroom here, right?
I do. It doesn't see a lot of action, but there's a bed in it, which is, the good part.
I don't believe that.
It's early days.
Person like you,
it's
come
early
on.
days. The thing about moving up to this neighborhood, and we're going to be vague about where we are because, with GPS and everything, but we're on the Upper West Side near the river.
Near the river.
And it's a weather challenge, isn't it?
It is. The minute you walk out of the door, all of the preparations you've done for your being pretty with your hair or your anything, go.
Now, has this been your hood forever?
Yes.
This is
Yeah, basically. When I first came to the city, I lived on the east side, way back in 1900, whatever it was, 60, 57, 58, 59. Anyway, around that time. And then when I had my baby, I moved to Brooklyn for a bit. And then I moved back to the Upper West Side. And
too many babies in Brooklyn.
That's right. I didn't want another baby. The second baby was not even going to be born in Brooklyn.
You didn't name him Dodger, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. But I lived right near the Paramount, the old Paramount place where Frank Sinatra used to sing, way back when.
And then you found your way up here to the Upper West.
And I never left. Yeah, Upper West Side.
Well, this is where Anita and I met. We actually met
When?
in the 80s.
Yeah.
On Search for Tomorrow.
My gosh.
And you came in as a character named Wilma Holiday.
That's right.
And the trivia was that your love interest, Larry Haynes,
Yes.
was Olympia Dukakis's love interest earlier in the run of Search for Tomorrow. But
didn't
then you
remember
also
that.
had that interaction on Moonstruck.
That's right. That's right.
And we were so excited after Search. It seemed like the next big thing you got was Moonstruck. And that launched a film career. I mean, you can't even go in chronological order with you. Stage, film, television, you name it, you've done it all.
Yeah. It wasn't the next big thing I got.
After Search?
Search for Tomorrow was not as big as I would say to me, as Quincy or Chapter 2.
Oh, but after Search, the next thing after Search was Moonstruck, chronologically. And we were like, yay, Anita!
Right.
Oh my God!
Right.
No, let's start. Let's go.
Okay.
Right now,
That's
your
true.
most recent role, Modern Family. It doesn't get
That's
any
right.
bigger than that. Tell me about Annie on Modern Family.
Annie Fitzsimmons. She's a Fred Willard's new squeeze.
He's hilarious.
Oh, he's so funny. He's hysterical.
He got into a little bit of trouble, as we all remember, on TMZ. There was a little incident, but he's cleaned up his act.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. As long as you didn't say anything about that,
didn't
but
know anything.
Oh,
Well,
it's okay.
sort of,
He got off in more ways than one,
Oh.
and now he's doing Modern Family.
Oh my God!
Was it fun?
My face red or what? Well, there's such great writers, and the actors are so good. So far, most of my stuff has been, my big thing was with Ty Burrell. He's such a wonderful
Great.
actor. He is so good, and the scene we did in my premiere, my entrance into the show was when his mother dies, and then he does this scene, and that's what I love about that show, is that you can be laughing hysterically one minute and then they get serious, and I mean it's all the same. They act the way that it's so real. So the comedy is very real, the drama is very real, the tears were very real, and it's just of a piece, and it's just a joy to be on.
It's nice to hear, because I remember early on in the run of the series, they all sort of came together as a cast over contract negotiations, in a family way. They stood
Right.
by each other. No,
Right.
No poppy was growing any higher than any other.
That's
kind of
good.
thing. And that sounds
Yes.
like that was the atmosphere.
They have a great chemistry. They're a wonderful cast, and they are together in every way. Look, remember the incident in the elevator when they all got stuck in an
Yeah.
elevator?
In
They
real
were all
life.
In real
Yeah.
life. I mean, yeah, not on the show. But they're friends as well as castmates.
It's good to hear. And you have actually sort of parlayed the most recent phase of your career into being the go-to mom.
That's
you
true.
seem to be playing a lot of moms.
I'm everybody's mother.
Of very famous people. Who
Yeah.
name off some of your
Well, I think the
offspring.
most ridiculous was being Bill Murray's mother. You know, who said, "What? You can't be
What,
my
in
mother."
flashbacks?
You said, "I want to date you." I don't. He didn't exactly say that, but
Wouldn't end well. Don't date Bill Murray. Go play golf with him. Don't
I
date
put
him.
on a gray wig and I became his mother in 1996 in a movie called Larger Than Life. It was an elephant movie, and we didn't know what the name of the movie was going to be. And the rap party, he gave everybody a jacket saying the best damn elephant movie ever made. And I was his mother in that. It was funny, and it was a funny movie, and I got to know the elephant.
Well, we'll toast to that with an Anita
great.
Margarita, which are red in honor of your hair.
Thank you.
I was going back saying, what was my first memory of Anita Gillette? Because it was a name synonymous when I was growing up with the game shows. You were on every
Right.
game show all the time.
Absolutely.
$20,000
all of them.
Pyramid was my favorite. But I saw you in there playing our song, which
You did?
I did, which I looked it up, 1979. You and Tony Roberts, you had replaced Lucy Arnaz.
Yes,
And that was the first Broadway musical I'd ever seen.
that's right.
And I was so disappointed when I got the
I thought you
poster
told me
because
that.
that Lucy Arnaz name was on the poster, and I wanted Anita Gillette's name on the
There
poster.
is a poster around
I gotta
with my
get
name
that.
on it.
It's probably on eBay.
With Tony. Yeah, because she did it with Robert Klein,
That's right.
and we replaced them.
And you're still singing. Tell me about your cabaret
I'm
show.
still singing. I do a show called After All, and it's about me. They're so egocentric, these cabaret people. But apparently my stories about my life, all about, there's so many stories, getting drunk at the White House, riding on an elephant with Bill Murray.
Getting drunk at the White House. What administration was this?
Johnson administration, during the Johnson administration, when I was trying to be sophisticated, and I didn't like the champagne they were serving, which I think they said it's lovely domestic champagne. Well, it was domestic. I guess they got it in Texas. I don't know. I mean, it was terrible champagne. So I ordered a martini, and
in those
honey.
days, they were gin. That's the way to
I
drink
had
them.
no
Yeah.
idea. I had never had a martini, but I wanted to be very sophisticated, so I just, I had like 3 of those, and then that was it. I was flying, and I'd forgotten to eat. And
Maybe that's how Monica Lewinsky started.
well,
Maybe. Could have been.
I guess it could have been.
Now, in doing my research, I came across your Broadway debut was actually, it's unfathomable to me that your Broadway debut could have been in Gypsy with Ethel Merman.
Yes, it was. In
Wait.
1960, though, not 59. Some people say it's because the show was on. I came the second year when Lane Bradbury, who was doing Dainty June, left. Her understudy went on, and I came in as the understudy. I replaced her.
But you worked with Ethel
And I
Merman
worked
on
with
Broadway in
Ethel Merman.
Gypsy.
It was amazing. She was my idol. She really was. I would watch her every night. I would go run from the chorus room on the 5th floor of the Imperial all the way downstairs and watch her do Rose's Turn. Every night I'd stand in the wings. She was amazing. She was a force of nature. And a nice person, too.
Well, except to Ernie Bergnein, who, they don't...
He wasn't so great.
No, I guess not.
I don't blame her for not being nice to him.
But to work with Ethel Merman, didn't she sort of help you out as a young starlet on her way up?
She did, actually. She did. You see, the first of all, just from watching her, learning how she functioned and what she did and how she could... There was no preparation. I mean, she just was that person. She was Rose, and I thought she was a hell of an actor because she could pull it off every single night, tears and all, and never standing backstage going on, love to get into this character, you know, she just was. And when I got into the show, I didn't know I was pregnant, and she saved my job.
How?
Well, when she heard they were going to fire me, she said, "Oh, no. The kid stays in the show. I mean, all right, so she can't do the splits. She can still do the you can still do the cartwheels, right? Yeah, she can still do the cartwheels. Kid stays in the show." And I did. I stayed until my 8th month.
You were cartwheeling at 8 months?
Cartwheeling at 8 months.
Was it a breech birth?
No, I didn't do. They actually didn't use me as an understudy. They gave the understudy to another girl, but they actually kept me in the chorus. She made sure that I had that job until as long as I wanted it. And I'll tell you, you know, I used to in the show there was the Minsky's ballet, which has not been in the revivals. It was in the original where they'd have all the little girls, the little Hollywood blondes. We would be in the Christmas tree, and on a given cue, we were standing there like this with these big capes. Filled, you know, sort of mock ermine trimmed capes, and on a given cue we would open up like this, and there we would stand in our little see-through leotards. My parts were covered by holly berries, you know, in all the appropriate places. And when my holly berries started moving east and west, I thought, no, I got to get out of this show. And that's when I decided I knew I had to leave. And one night I couldn't open my cape, and so I just said, that's it. Yeah.
How has fame changed since then? You know, I mean, it's crazy now. We live in a TMZ world where and most of my job as a reporter is spent trying to, it used to be my job was finding stories. Now my job is verifying stories. There's almost too much information, and 90% of it's false.
I think people can make their own fame these days if they know what they're doing. And that's the part, that you don't have to earn it. With all of the reality shows and the people who sit in their living room and say, I could do that.
Yeah.
And they think they can, and if they can find enough money, and they can find, you know, the right press people, and they can do their YouTube things and all. I mean, I'm astounded. And I can't keep up, tell you the truth, with all the new crazes. You know, when they say things go viral, I just can't.
Like this will?
It will go viral.
I mean,
we want
Ethel Merman would never have saved Kim Kardashian's job.
Oh,
never.
Oh my God. Nelson, tell me why.
I don't know.
Was it because her father? I like this line.
That's good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Broadway market. Let's talk about somebody who does have talent. Clash.
She sure doesn't.
No. I mean, she has a talent for something, obviously. But you have gotten very close to one of the most talented and powerful women in the entertainment industry. Again, playing a mom. I'm talking about Liz Lemon.
Oh!
Tina Fey. I mean, you were
Is it so funny?
Mom Lemon.
I never...
No wonder you like limes.
I never think of her as being powerful, but boy, because she is so, do you know, she is so down to earth, so real, and so talented that when you're working with her, you know, you just take her as another actor, and then you realize she's calling the shots, and you go, oh my God, I'm talking like, you know, like she's really my kid. And she acts like it because it's good for the scene. And she's the most generous person from an acting point of view. But maybe that's also because she produces the show, she writes the show, or did.
That's her baby.
And she wants it to be good. So she's not afraid of, that's what her end game is, that aim for that is the show to be perfect. And so if NBC it says that cuts a joke that I had, she will make sure, if she can, to replace that joke with something that they will accept. Because when I did the Buzz Aldrin episode, I had this joke, you know, my character, Margaret Lemon, admits to her that it was Buzz Aldrin that was her first love, not her father, Dick. And she's, no, you can't tell me that. And she says, yes, no, Buzz Aldrin. I mean, I lost my virginity to him in the back behind the Dairy Queen. And she says, wait a minute, in the back or behind the Dairy Queen? And I said, yes. That was the joke. And he said, no, she's not going to say that. So they cut it. So she said, I'm fixing it. Next time, go around. She came up to me and she said, this is a joke. And she says to me, but Mom, you couldn't be in love with Buzz Aldrin. You love Dick. And I say, oh, honey, everybody loves Dick. They cut that too. So,
of course they did. That was worse than the first one.
I know.
Now, how did she cast you?
She said, you don't look anything like me, but you were so clever to wear. I went out and got a pair of glasses like hers that you could just see through. And, like drugstore glasses.
Yeah.
And I went and I did my audition, but that wasn't the only reason. I was funny. And that was the reason I got the job. But I knew I didn't look Greek, but...
But, Dick Lemon obviously did.
Mm-hmm.
I remember also...
Buck Henry. Fantastic.
Hilarious.
Oh my God.
All these talented people. I mean,
yeah.
there's the
Wrote
difference...
The Graduate.
Yeah.
Wrote The Graduate. Yeah. In so many movies. Oscar winner.
I'm remembering Quincy. You
Oh,
worked
yeah.
with Jack Klugman for so many seasons on Quincy, which was one of my favorite shows. Carol Lindley is one of my oldest and dearest
Oh,
friends.
my.
I remember she did the pilot or the first episode of Quincy, and that was a big deal. So that was a rather adult show for a kid to be watching.
Sure.
But I remember you from that well. What was Klugman like?
Klugman was wonderful. He only used me towards the end of the thing. We met in Gypsy.
All right.
He was still in Gypsy, and so he remembered me. And when they were looking for somebody to play his wife, and we had seen each other around, on the game shows, and because he was married to Brett Summers.
Match Game.
Match Game and all, and so we knew each other sort of socially, and then he loved theater, so I did a play with him and tribute we did, and he just said, I'm just looking for a spot. So they did an episode where he was a flashback of him looking in a washing machine, going round and round like this, and my face appears in the glass, and you see my face there. And he starts thinking back, the flashback of when his wife died. And until then, you never knew about Quincy, what his history was. And then he introduces the fact that he had a wife and she died. And so the next year, he wants to get a permanent wife. So he says, Anita, you're going to be my wife. I said, Jack, I just died on your show. I can't be your wife. He said, I don't care. So you look a lot alike. You're going to be my wife. And Tim, he did. He used me as his second wife.
It's amazing. You mentioned the game shows, and Pyramid was my favorite of the Anita Gillette guest appearances.
Yeah.
So what I've done is, for people that don't remember Pyramid, how would you describe it? You're giving clues to categories.
That's
Is that
right.
a fair way to say it?
Yes, it's true.
And I was looking at some of your appearances on YouTube, and I thought, I'm going to see if you can guess, if I'm going to throw out, I've never played it before, but I'm going to throw out and see if you can name, as if we were on...
The category
in
the
you name the
winner's
category.
circle.
I'm going to give you clues. Yeah, we're in the
Okay.
winner's circle.
Okay.
That's
All
it.
right.
And
Okay.
20,000
Oh, good grief.
chips. Let's see.
I didn't know this
All right.
would be a test.
We're not going to
of
time it. We're not going to. There's no timer on us. But I bet you're real good and you'll get this. Okay, so guess the category. In honor of Dick Clark. The iris. The pupil.
The eye. What is it? Things associated with the eye.
Correct. It sure is lonely up here. I sure like walking on the moon.
What an astronaut would say.
What an Silkwood.
Meryl Streep movies.
A hypodermic syringe.
Things that a doctor uses. Things that a nurse uses. Things in a hospital.
A machine to make dresses. A record player.
Things that sew. Things that stitch. Things that with a needle.
Things with a needle.
That was it. Record player. Yeah. That's good.
Locks.
Soaps.
cream cheese,
Things that are white, things that are soft, things that are creamy.
smoked salmon, jelly,
Things that Jewish,
butter,
things you have for breakfast. Breakfast items.
onions, lox and capers, and butter, and
Things that are Jewish food.
Jack
Bagels.
Parr.
Things you put on
Yeah,
bagels.
that's right. Things you put on a bagel. Jack Parr, Steve Allen,
Tonight
Jay
Show
Leno.
people.
David Letterman,
Nighttime.
Nelson Aspen.
Nighttime host. TV hosts.
There you go. Very good. You got them all. We just won $20,000.
Yes, but not in the time because it took me too long to get the bagel.
Well, and isn't that ironic? We live in New York and you couldn't get the bagel.
Well, I couldn't. I kept thinking of the wrong. Yeah.
What's next? We're gonna hope for more Modern Family.
Yes,
in
we're
the coming
looking for
season.
Modern Family in the coming season, and then I'm doing a show with Penny Fuller called Sin Twisters. It's a Spoonerism, of course, from the Reverend Spooner, actually, who mixed up his words. And we're doing that at 54 Below this fall. And I'm doing my show again,
After All.
After All, it's called. And I'm not sure if it's going to be where it's going to be yet. It could be at 54 Below, or it could be at the Metropolitan Room. I did it at Birdland, of course.
I've heard the Metropolitan is great.
Yeah.
Wherever you go and do it, I'm going to be in the front row.
Oh, I can't wait for you to see it. You'll laugh a lot.
I bet
You will.
Well, this has hardly been a funeral. I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And next time you come over, we won't have cameras.
This is like internet, right? This is advanced. This is keeping up.
You are in a modern family.
Yay.
Love you.